Welcome everybody, Chris Reeves with TRIARC Systems, and today we are going to talk Cerakote. With me I have Chris Cox, or James Chris Cox. He's got 3 different names around here.
Or Cox.
Or Cox,
yeah.
is what we call him. But so I just want to do an intro and basically put a face to our Cerakote section. It's on Instagram, also TRIARC Systems Cerakote. And this is the man right here. This individual here, known him for years. And go ahead and tell them a little about your skills there.
So my name's Cox, is usually what everybody calls me. So I've been coating for about 5 years now, coming up on 6. Started at like a little warehouse in the back and then kind of worked my way up to this point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This point.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to this point. Obviously, a lot of people know this, but Cox and I go way back, way back to 2007.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was a Cox platoon sergeant way back in the day, and I didn't know he was from this area. So as we TRIARC just moved here, and I moved up here, we just kind of ran into each other by mutual friends, and yeah, so it was kind of cool in that sense where we were able to bring him on board. Obviously, when you're coating at that one place.
Yeah, yeah.
So as people have been Cerakoting throughout the years, it's kind of like this progression, and not everybody takes this path, but you kind of get curious, you buy the stuff, you do makeshift ovens, smokers, and you kind of just get to work playing with it. And that's how I started way back in the day with Zach Boyd, who's also in the background right now, so he knows the pains of the Cerakoting woes, of the struggles of trying to figure stuff out. And as I went through that journey, as we got up here into the DFW area, we got certified and learned a whole new set of skills when it came to Cerakote. Well, Chris started the same similar journey where he worked for an individual who, what did he do? What did he buy a bunch of?
This guy bought out a bunch of Gander Mountain stuff, and then he had like little laser range training guns. And then from that point, I basically had 250 guns to mess around with. So it was just trial and error, trial and error, until finally I got to a point where I was sending Chris pictures constantly, and then I ended up doing one little one-off job, and then he called me. He was like, dude, you ready to come over here? Yeah.
So, and obviously through all those pictures you sent me, I just tell them they're terrible until I did one good one.
Yeah.
No, but it's cool seeing the progression, because it's getting into coating. It's a lot of skill and technique with the gun, and learning how the coatings really work when it as far as the principle of it when it comes to the different pigments. Also, you have the metallic colors. So you have to get a really good feel and be consistent in everything you do. Consistent when you're mixing, correct?
Yep.
That's a big thing. We talk about that a lot. Mixed ratios.
Yeah.
And also coming up with their own ratios, because each pigment's going to act different. Despite they're going to have their own presets of what the matte, satin, and gloss is going to be. You'll find out later on down the road what's going to suit you best, right? And so that's kind of the cool thing in the journey, where we were able to work together again, which is pretty awesome. But Chris has changed, but he hasn't changed. And I'm saying he hasn't changed in a sense with his work ethic. If not, it's gotten better since the military service, because he always worked his ass off. And then I was like, hell yeah, dude, because bringing him on the team, I knew that he was going to grind it out, and that's what he does. And so as far as like all those different custom camo finishes, the cool thing about is the creative side, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I basically get that creative freedom where we kind of come up with ideas, and I'll just put different Cerakote bottles together, line them up, and start trying to figure out how I'm going to coat it, what I'm going to use for base coat highlights, and ultimately get this type of outcome.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of trial and error, and sometimes it was a home run, and sometimes we're all conflicted.
Sometimes it's like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But then it's conflicted. That's the cool thing about Chris will put in the effort, and he wants to do better, right? And when he tries something new, we all kind of run to the shop, and like it's always like a 50-50. Like, I like it or I hate it, or we hate it, but then you put it together in the full gun, and it comes together, and you're like, this is awesome. And that's the fun part about the side to TRIARC Systems is there is a lot of creative outlets that happen around here, and Cerakote is one of them. But the outcome of that is some really amazing camo finishes, and learning the ins and outs of the coating to where we can get better with it.
Yep.
Right? Technique in the gun, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that we coat differently, but it's awesome because the times we get to go back there, and the rare times, when we get to do some coatings together, it's really cool to see how, like, I do one way, Zach does it another way. They're similar, but they're all a little different into the technique, and obviously some of the challenges you've had.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, what is your favorite one? So people know.
So
what is the one you like to do enjoy the most?
So honestly, I'm all about subtleness. So my favorite one is going to be the Midnight Blue multicam, which is it looks dark from a distance. You can't tell. It just looks like a black gun. Then once you get up close, you can kind of see that it's an actual multicam. And then on top of that, skill level.
Yeah.
So, with skill level, you got to figure out, like he was talking about with mixed ratios, is each ratio has a different satin finish or glossy finish. So you're trying to kind of throw it off and give it that pigment to where when you do look at it in the sun, it kind of gets a flash on it, and then you're like, oh shit, this is multicam.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the subtlety of it, right? You're playing with two different blacks and also a really dark blue to where it just all ties together. And it's one of those things where you see up close, you're just like kind of shocked and amazed by it. So, and he'll grind until he gets it right, which is the cool part about Chris here. And so the amount of effort in, and not only that though, we do have other team members that do help Chris out on the other side of it, to where there's so much more that goes on to the prep of the parts, to the stenciling, right? I mean, there's a whole way to even stencil a gun, which you find out by trial and error, and also the mixing, so mixing by weight, trying to get that consistency all the time.
Getting the gun dialed down exactly the way you need it.
Yeah.
Finding that fine line there.
Always that fine line, huh?
Yeah.
So, and I'm smiling a lot because it's the whole trial and error and the frustration, but obviously the outcome of it, and throughout the years, it's just very, coding. It's just, it comes out great. It's and the amount of effort that's put into it, it obviously permeates into the product. So yeah. I'm pretty cool with that. So also too, share, like, obviously, I know the Midnight Cam, but what's the one you hate to do? What's the one you do not like doing?
Honestly, it's going to be traditional.
Traditional multicam? Yeah.
Traditional multicam.
Sucks, dude.
And the reason why is because there's so much of a mass here. So you got to find that fine line in between, how many you can do at once and still keeping that quality with it. And you got to know your limits as well. When it comes to traditional, there's probably about 3 or 4 extra steps to it that adds maybe a day's worth of work on top of it. So at the end of the day, you kind of look at it, and yes, it comes out great, it comes out awesome, but you didn't really get as much as you would hope to get done. Yeah. So, and then at that point, you're just like, now I need to go do black multicam, do like 10 of them. Yeah, it's easier, right? Yeah. We've learned that whole little part where how many you can do in a batch without sacrificing quality. Like I said, there's always a give and take in the learning lessons into this whole coding side of the house, but yeah, it's amazing. And everybody in the shop obviously has their favorites here and there. And what's that one rule? If we do adopt a camo that someone has an idea, they get to name it. So that's where we have all these different names for the camo. And if they name it something dumb, we beat them and we take over and we name it something cool. So some of the stuff that has come out through the shop, it's pretty interesting. There are some camos that we haven't showed anybody. There are some that are in existence but don't exist. And there's one in particular that they snuck around me, which whatever, I guess. So, but it doesn't exist. And if you see it, it didn't come from here. Yeah, it didn't come from here. It's what is it? If you see it, you're not really you're not seeing what you're seeing. It just came that way. Yeah, it's just a magnet. It just came that way. But yeah, so also too, those of you out there, as far as when we do taking custom Cerakote work now, we have opened up that to it. And we find out coding other things too is very pushing that envelope to what we can code, right? Yeah. And so we've done other things too, not just firearms, also too. I know we don't do a good job posting it, but there are a lot of other things out there that we have coded. I mean, this dude did a badass hockey helmet in multicam black. God, we gotta get a photo of that. But oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, cool. But that's the thing. Like he's challenging himself, pushing the limits. Doing what he does and becoming an expert at his craft, which it's really cool to see. And I know Zach over there, he's got his favorites. You want to share that with us there, Zach? No? But the multicam blacks, have you guys seen through the progression, even through on Instagram, how
we've changed up things, just certain subtleties we've changed into the camo patterns when it comes to colors, stenciling, the
highlighting, blending, things like that. Yeah, that was one of my big things. I would look back at some of the ones that I used to do, and I hated it. So then I was like, what can I do to change it? So I just kept staying back there, just trying different techniques until I finally found something that started working really well. And then from that point, I just continued on, stayed till midnight every night, and like
do grinds. Grinds, absolutely.
Until I finally got it to a point where I was happy with it, but ultimately I'm never going to be happy with my work. I'm always going to progress to get better and better, because complacency will kill you.
Yeah, and we're never going to let you know how good you are. We're going to tell you terrible.
They're just going to tell me I suck all the time.
All this stuff's terrible. But yes, you know, obviously after this little interview, we'll get some good B-roll to show you some of the coatings that we have. And also too, you know, those of you in the comments, you know, those of you interested in a certain type of camo, he likes to be challenged. So, you know, throw it at him and we'll see what he has time for. But in those, obviously, as we pick up and we start doing more events, he's going to have a little bit more flexibility to get out of his hole. So, you know, so if you come to an event, Chris should be there and, you know, stop by and show him some stuff. But those of you out there too, who already received Cerakote products from us too, and also who have other guns out there too, it's just like, it's really cool to see the guns out in use, getting their own type of wear. So, but yeah, shoot them a DM, send them those photos of your TRIARCs out there that got that use on. It's really cool to see, and especially when customers bring them in, and we like seeing that.
I like seeing how well it holds up after, you know, 3 or 4 years of use, and still seeing that it's still holding up as a multicam in general. Yeah, you got your little wear spots, which happens with any type of coating. But, you know, it's awesome seeing how durable this stuff really is just over time, something that you just can't find online.
And also, too, just like the other coatings that they offer when it comes to, they have this coating called Microslick, so we do teeny other coatings, too. We don't just put them out there right out the bat. I know we did with an OZ9 with Uncommon Line, but that's just something we kind of like to try here and there. So with the Microslick, obviously, we're still testing that. That's pretty interesting coating side to Cerakote, but yeah, we're always trying to push the limits, and this dude, he grinds. I can't say anything. This guy works. We just keep him, you know, fed with Bang energy drinks. So.
Yep.
Bangs
and tacos, man.
Bangs and tacos. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, in the comments, you guys, if you have a rifle, hey, give us a shout out to what camo you got, and if you got any interesting ideas, throw it in the comments section. Like I said, he likes to be challenged. The color stuff is a hard thing to pick out. We'll find a good stencil, but how we blend the colors or reverse it. Sometimes there's camos out there that are contextual, and there's camos that are implied. You know, because Jim over there behind the camera likes to imply his camos. Like he's like, I want my camos very implied. So we do that we can do that. Just put that in the comments when you place your order. But yeah. Other than that though, you got anything you want to say, bro?
No. I just you know, this is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. So I'm just going to continue doing the best I can at it. You know, just keep pushing the limits and keep progressing. You know, and something I wanted to add, something I do like to do, because people are always asking, how do you come up with these colors or things of that sort? So I actually like to get online and reverse everything that anybody's doing. I like to go against the grain. So throw me some crazy ideas, and then I can see what I can do with it. Yeah.
Pushing that, right?
Yeah.
Was it pushing forward?
Yeah, pushing forward. There you go.
Just like how, you know, watching a movie and they say the title in the movie, you're like, there it is. So, but yeah. Zach, you got anything? Damn. Zach gave us 2 thumbs up. That's rare.
I got 2 thumbs up.
Dang.
Super stoked.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
No.
Don't. Yeah, before he leaves the day, let him know, terrible job at that. Hey, as always, we just want to thank everybody for taking time to watch this video and supporting the company. We really appreciate it. Individuals like this who grind and work very hard and put a lot of effort into what they do. It's really cool for them to see, obviously, the support. It pushes them even more. And and stay tuned. We have more videos, obviously, in the queue. More Cerakote stuff will be dropping on our Instagram page, and also follow TRIARC System Cerakote on Instagram. We kind of revamping that page, adding more photos to it, and Chris and I have been getting with the getting more, what do you call it? More in the habit of putting stuff, capturing, because usually when it comes out, it goes straight to production. So we trying to slow down a little bit to get those images, right?
Yeah.
So cool. And thanks very much.
Thank you.
Clap, clap. Oh man, who are these people? Oh, it's Noe. I was like, who's these people?
I gotta get better at this.
Do you? Not with that dirty shirt.
Man, dude.
Just kidding. It's nice.
I even ironed it.
Bro. That's iron.
I tried.
Right.
It was on the kitchen table.
Yeah, so. Steam it, bro. Oh man, don't throw it.